any sense to put an arrow through a heart anyway. So now
Right.
that makes a lot of sense for what you are saying, because these things we've taken for granted.
Right.
A Cupid, a little angel shoots an arrow through a heart. What's the question?
Well, and when you think about Valentine's Day, Lupercalia was the real festival. It's a spring festival where the Romans would take strips of sheepskin and dip it in sheep's blood and chase the girls, and if they could strike them with it, that would be their intimate partner for that night.
Oh my!
And
okay.
These strips were called February, from which you get the word February.
Oh man! Okay, now you're talking in terms of holidays, of Sabbaths, of the evil Sabbaths, bad Sabbaths. Let's talk about the calendar itself, because Josh had a question during the break about calendars. Let's set out how the calendar is made, or what does the calendar mean, because you say it's based on also some evil things.
Well, basically, we're looking at different calendars here. Really the truest calendar there is, I think, is the Hebrew calendar. Because it's based on the cycles of the moon. There's no calendar that's 100% accurate. You cannot. That's why we have a leap year. Incidentally, our elections are always on a leap year, and so are the Olympics, because they have to honor the sun god with a sacred torch. Okay, but that's another story. We can
Is anything sacred anymore? I mean,
not much. Not much. No.
Wow. Okay.
No.
Go ahead.
But anyway. So we're looking at three different calendars here. Now, the old Julian calendar had, Julius Caesar, when he conquered the Roman Empire, set up the Roman Empire and conquered the known world, wanted to honor himself, and all the months at that time had 30 days. So he pulled one off the last month of the year, which was February. On the Julian calendar, the last month was February. Okay? That's why December, D-E-C, of course, means 10. Mm-hmm. Okay? And it's our 12th month.
Yeah,
so
now people ought to be questioning, because a lot of people don't understand what the Jewish calendar is, or the Hebrew calendar, how it differs from our calendar. So
it should start in spring.
Okay, and October, meaning 8, should be the 8th month. Right.
Well, what Julius Caesar did is he took one day off February and put it on July, named for himself, Julius, July. Later on, when Octavius Caesar, who was also Augustus, when he took over under the triumvirate with Lepidus and Antony, he took, and became Caesar, he took one day off of February and put it at the end of August, named for himself, Augustus. To this day, we still have 31 days in July and August, side by side there, and February got robbed and has 28. Mm-hmm. Okay? But, so you have the old Julian calendar, and the Gregorian calendar that came later on under Pope Gregory, but the calendars they're really based on lunisolar, the calendars we use today, where the Hebrew was strictly a lunar calendar. It went by the moon cycles.
Okay, the Hebrew calendar went by moon cycles. Our present calendar goes by sun cycles.
Sun and moon combined.
Okay.
You have to factor in both, and they're all inaccurate. But anyway, we have 365. Well, technically, the Earth travels around the sun every 365 days, 5 hours, 48 minutes, and 46 seconds.
Uh-huh.
Okay? And so there are divisions here. Sounds like we're moving into a break.
Yeah, we got a break, and Josh is chomping at the bit over here. So we're going to be right back after this 3-minute break with more of Pastor David J. Meyer. I don't know.
Then take a stand. Said you gotta fight for your mind. Have to fight for your mind.
Fight for your mind, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. We have to fight for our minds. And we didn't think about that. We just grew up accepting October means pumpkin month, I guess. We didn't think about it means 8. And now, why is 8 the 10th month? And why is Deca, or 10, The 12th month, because it's based on a different calendar. Welcome back to the Power Hour. Thank you for joining us. Pastor David J. Meyer is joining us today. And Josh, you wanted to make a comment on the calendar.
Yes, I just wanted to point out that the current calendar that we use takes us from death or darkness all the way around to death and darkness. You know, the meaning
January to January.
Winter, the dead of winter to the dead of winter. And as the Jewish calendar, you know, takes us from new life or spring, you know, back to that. I just want to make sure that point was made.
You brought that up to me, and that is an important point to make. Pastor Meyer, that is an important point, isn't it?
Yes, it is, very much so. In fact, even when God created the world, you look in Genesis, and it says, after the first day, the evening and the morning were the first day. The evening and the morning were the second day, and so on. And when you look at this, you're moving from darkness toward the light, evening first, then morning. So that, for instance, we say this is Wednesday, okay? But you'd have the evening first. In other words, last evening we said was Tuesday evening, but it would have been Wednesday evening, followed by Wednesday. And then Thursday evening, followed by Thursday. You're moving from darkness to the light. We have it backwards. We're moving from light toward the darkness.
Mm-hmm.
I know that sounds confusing, but it's true.
No, I see that. I can see that. And I think that's important to understand. All right. Now, we've established that the Hebrew calendar really was the appropriate calendar that we should be following. Is that what you're saying? That we should be going according to that?
Yeah, really, it is the better calendar. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, the other thing you mentioned is that there are Sabbaths, which we all know there are Sabbaths. You know, Scripture talks about Sabbath. But you're saying that there are witches' Sabbaths also, and that certain events occur around witches' Sabbaths.
Right. For an example, well, first of all, every Friday night is an Esbat, E-S-B-A-T, and that's that corresponds with the Christian Sabbath. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
wait a minute. You say the Christian Sabbath on Friday night.
Well, actually, the original, I should say the old Hebrew Sabbath.
Okay, the Hebrew Sabbath, okay.
Right, yeah, the old Hebrew Sabbath, okay. Now, in witchcraft, they have 8 Sabbaths. They have what they call the Wheel of the Year. The word Yule actually means wheel. Now, there are 8 divisions, 8 Sabbaths, and I can tell you what they are if anyone's interested in hearing them.
Okay, let's do.
Okay, the first one in the old Celtic tradition is Halloween, or Samhain, as they call it, and that's October 31st. And then you have Yule, which is December 21st. It's coming up shortly here, which is why Obama wants to hurry up and push that health care bill through.
Wait a minute. Health care, you're saying, has something to do with a satanic Sabbath holiday.
Absolutely. They time everything that way. And I'll give you another example in a minute. So that was the 21st of December, Yule. The next one is February 2nd, which is Imalgi. Actually, it looks like Imalk when you spell it. I-M-B-O-L-C. That is also called Candlemas or Groundhog's Day. It's the first stirring of the new spring in the womb of Mother Earth. Then you have the Astarte, first day of spring.
Okay, we'll get back to these after this break, and we're going to talk about the events that have happened on those Sabbaths, those witches' Sabbaths, or the satanic Sabbath days. We'll be back after this 1 minute, 10-second break, so don't go far. Stay tuned to the Power Hour. Pastor David J. Meyer. This is Joyce Riley. Welcome back to the Power Hour, top of the hour. Thank you for joining us. It is the beginning of the 3rd hour. Boy, has it gone fast also. I thank you very much for joining us, for thinking outside of your, conventional world that has been established around you. This may challenge your beliefs, but you know what? That's what we like on the Power Hour, because we're strong enough and we believe and we know that there is a a power much greater than all of the things that we're talking about today, and that's what I hope you will understand when we finish this discussion with Pastor David J. Meyer. We were talking about the Sabbaths, and we're moving into, you said February 2nd or Groundhog Day. Now, that's interesting that they would make Groundhog Day, and by the way, I've always wondered, what the heck does a groundhog have to do with anything at all? But that seems to be kind of an important day to them.
Well, it is actually. So the witches, they look at Imalk as the first stirring of the new spring in the womb of Mother Earth, a new year coming for them, a new spring, I should say.